Welcome to Desmond's Donders and a Happy New Year. This is the first Wednesday Wisdom, Waffle, whatever you want to call it, of 2020. And I've been tagged. We'll get to that in a moment. We're back from a longer donder. We had a great trip to England and various parts south, and I'll talk about that in the coming weeks, and you'll get to see the videos. We met a load of people and had a great time. While I was away, of course, we got tagged. The VANLIFETAG started by Peaches and Pebbles. So I have to answer 10 questions and nominate 3 channels. Now normally this is the channel where tags come to die, but I'm going to tag 3 people in this one. It's an enjoyable tag. So the questions. Question 1. What is the make and model of your van? Well, we're not a self-builder. We have a motorhome. He's 15 coming on 16. A Fiat Ducato 2.8 JTD chassis with a Bessicar E710 built on the back. Swift and swiftly and poorly made. There goes my sponsorship. How long did your van take? You'd have to talk to the manufacturers. It's an ongoing fixable thing. In fact, I've got a big fix on at the moment. Question 3. Where has been your favourite place to stay in your van? That has got to be the Outer Hebrides, the Western Isles, Lewis and Harris. We haven't made the Southern Islands yet. That is for the future, but what a cracking place to go. And to go with it, question 4. Where has been the worst place you've ever stayed in your van? It was an overnight stop, thankfully. We wouldn't go back there, and it was probably the worst place we've ever stopped for boy races, tooting horns and drunken driving. And that's Cairn Papel Hill, just south of Edinburgh. Question 5. How many people have you had in your van at one time? This van, the motorhome, 8. And that was quite a crowd. But we still managed to serve our panacea for everything, a pot of tea. In a previous caravan, which is not really the same thing, we did have 26, but that's a story for a whole nother video. Question 6. Have you had any van disasters? I could say actually not one until this trip. No, we've had our fair share of bangs and bashes and things falling off. This trip just seems to have been, the last trip we did, just seems to have been the one where everything went wrong on that front. The skirt at the back fell off and dragged along the floor, so we're currently skirtless and number plateless on the back. I actually have the skirt here. We're not refitting it. We're going to go a slightly different route, and I may do a video. I probably won't. I was hoping to have some help to do it. I'm going to have to do it myself, which is going to make video difficult. And other than that, cupboards and drawers falling off and falling apart have been the order of the day. And of course there was the big one where we got stuck for 6 days in total, 4 of them waiting for somebody to come out and recover us because of, well, yes, you guessed it, this video's about that. I'm still willing to slag off that recovery firm. But again, other videos. Question 7. What is your favourite feature of the van? The favourite feature is probably the bed. By now we wouldn't be part of the van life community in any way, shape or form if we did not have the fixed bed. It was part of the reason we went the way we did, is because we both have bad backs, and the bed was a must. I have added other favourite features, but the favourite feature has to be the fact of the bed. The space given by the layout. We don't have a dinette as such, we have a side seat, so it opens up the van. When the chairs at the front, the captain's chairs, are turned round, you've got so much space, it's unbelievable. So I'm stealing a march there. It's two favourite parts, and the second part allows us in the winter, it allows us to live in the van when the weather is really inclement. We don't have to live out of the van, which is our favourite, to be outside and in the outdoors. Question 8. What is your favourite, or least favourite, sorry, part about van life? Coming home? No, it's got to be the bane of all our lives, the chemical toilet. We don't use blue chemicals, so it's not as blue as most people. We use the bio tablets, so that is probably the worst part, emptying the cassette at the end of the journey or when it's full. As a side here, we carry a spare cassette in a plastic box. Extends our journey time between finding places and to empty the loo, and puts off the actual emptying a little bit longer. Question 9. What is your favourite part about van life? The freedom. The absolute freedom. You're not tied down anywhere, and although we're not full time, even when we're away, we don't have to stay where we go, where we end up. We can move about, we can see different places, go different places, and quite often places we wouldn't have gone at any other time, at any other way. It's the versatility of the van as well. You can go anywhere. Now, I like my bird watching and wildlife watching, and after a while parked up, the birds and wildlife don't notice you're in a big white box, because there's nobody moving about necessarily, no humans to scare them off. It's great to be out there. You can be in nature, you can be part of nature, or you can just sit back and observe as the world goes by and largely ignores your white box. Question 10, and this is the one where I could ramble on a bit. Any tips for those about to embark on their van life adventure? For self-builders, there's not really a lot I can say. I'm not self-built. It's something I may or may not do in the future, who knows. For people who buy ready converted or vans or motorhomes of whatever shape or ilk, I would say make sure that the layout works for you. Don't get sold by the salesman, the latest model, the this, that and the other, it does this. Whatever you do, the van layout has got to work for you. Nobody else, not the salesman, not the designer, and some of them should be shot, but you. It's got to work for you. You're going to use it, so spend your time and look carefully and try them as long as possible before you have to commit to buy. Not necessarily saying hire one, but spend hours sitting in it, moving about in it, if you can, before buying. If you're building, you can adjust it as you go along, of course. The other tip is don't worry about park-ups. You see a lot on here, on YouTube, of people going, oh, I can't find a park-up, this, that and the other. Google Earth, Street View, And when you get there, we have a simple rule. I'll come back to that. There are plenty of park-ups out there. There's plenty of apps. I don't like the apps, and here's an example why. On our last trip, we stopped in a park-up, and I will mention it. I do think I do mention it in the video that I shot at the time. Park for Night, that well-known park-up app, shows one park-up in the area. When I looked on Google Earth, I came up with 3. I dismissed one of them on arrival, but the second one that I'd found on Google Earth was bigger than the Park for Night one. There was just one van in it the first night. There was 2 the second night because we had visitors. As we went past the Park for Night park up, there were 6 vans crammed in a small space. Not one of them moved up the hill to be in the larger space with us. Might have been something we said, who knows? But they were following the one, to me, they were following the Park for Night, this is where you park up, and not looking for themselves. So get out there, find your park ups and don't worry about it. And on that note, the law that allows us to park up in Scotland applies in England too. Think about that one. The best though is don't worry about it, and you will, if you don't like a park up, move on. We have a rule. If either of us feel uncomfortable when we arrive somewhere, we move, because there's always somewhere where you can find. Again, on the last trip, we got to a park up. We were both uncomfortable with it. We were both uncomfortable with the backup that I found. But within a few minutes, we were in another backup and had a pleasant night and morning. Anyway, I've waffled on quite enough, and I'll now nominate the 3 people who I'd like to have a go at these 10 questions. Links to their channels will be below, as will be links to the people who nominated me and the originator of this VANLIFETAG. So, who shall I nominate? Well, let's go with Tales from the DW. Dan is contemplating another trip in his van. Vanonymous. He has a self-build van and a cracking art channel. Go and check him out. And another one, Colin TonkasDad. There's more to Colin than van life, I can tell you that. He, if you go back and look in his history, he has all sorts of stuff on Land Rovers, his old American RV, which he did a lot of work on, and his current one, the Betty B, which he's also doing lots of work on. And of course, recently, his Gambia trips. So, that's all from me. I hope you've enjoyed my VANLIFETAG Wednesday Waffle whatever video, the first of the new year. We'll be back next week with more. In the meantime, go and watch some of our videos and see what we get up to in our van. Thank you for watching Desmond's Donders. We'll hope you'll join us again for more photos, waffle and video as we travel around Scotland. Bye for now.